And here's a look at some of the campers who were evacuated from Camp Mystic when all of that flooding took place.
This is footage from a mother whose child was rescued by helicopter from the camp. Winnie Kennedy shot this video on Sunday as she drove by. You can see debris spread around the camp, and now that the river has lowered significantly. And right now, a look at the destruction and cleanup efforts there at Camp Mystic.
That is where we find News 4 San Antonio's Tom Rousey. He is there. He continues our live team coverage tonight from Hunt. Tom, good evening.
Good evening. We got a look at some really damaged areas today, kind of west of the center of Hunt. This is one of them. This clearly, you can tell, used to be a gate by the punch numbers that are here, but now the remains of something, and we're not sure what. Kayaks, other debris here, and if you look this way, it appears this used to be a house or a cabin or something like that. It's all piled up against it. This is one of many damaged areas we encountered today as we headed towards Camp Mystic, an area we ultimately reached, and we saw some of what happened after the devastation there. Today at Camp Mystic, people went through the belongings of girls who had to rush out the morning of July 4th with no time to grab anything. Luggage, mattresses, and other items are all lying on the grass. Fortunately, a lot of the girls and people who were here were able to escape that morning, but sadly, some did not, and some have still not been accounted for. Once you get west of the center of Hunt, Texas, an already devastating scene grows even worse. You find cars flipped over or leaning against a tree. This truck not even close to where the river normally is. A nearby home also destroyed.
Me and my dad, we knew we had to do something.
Hank Coble came down to help from Dallas after learning his neighbors, Blair and Brooke Harbor, were among those who died.
I used to play with them all the time. I mean, when I was little, we would go on their trampoline.
He came with a large group from Good Shepherd Episcopal School, one of many groups of volunteers trying to help people amid all this disaster and despair.
All day Sunday, we loaded up vehicles, spent from about 6 a.m. till 11 at night loading up trailers, bringing in donations.
Although this part of Camp Mystic was one of the hardest hit areas, one thing you notice is this is far from the only spot of devastation. It is just mile after mile of damage along the Guadalupe River. In many cases, not just homes and buildings that were near the river, but homes well away from the river are also destroyed. And you can see one of the cars that was flipped over right here. We're not sure what the story was. We just hope whoever owned that car was not inside it when that happened. Again, the further you get from the river, the damage doesn't end. This is a heavy pole that was brought down here in this area. I'm well away from the Guadalupe, but in some cases much further than that. There was damage that we saw today as we made our way to Camp Mystic west of Hunt there. Reporting live in Hunt, I'm Tom Rousey for News 4 San Antonio.
Crews around Texas have been pitching in to help in rescue and recovery efforts in and around Kerrville. San Antonio Fire Department shared these pictures on social media. The department says boat teams were on the ground during the flash flooding Friday morning. They say conditions quickly changed. 2 of the department's tow vehicles and trailers were swept away by the current, but everyone made it out safely and uninjured. Over 20 personnel are still deployed as of today.